Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at update 13.3. It is here. It's been a while since I've done one of these update videos, but I think it's important here because Wisconsin Dockyard is available. And one of the main concerns I had about the Wisconsin was how are these missions going to look? This dockyard seems like really good value relative to previous dockyards. It's much cheaper, and we gain that nice tier 7 premium halfway through, which is West Virginia 44, which is pretty fun. Did a video on it this week and really enjoyed it. So the idea here with this dockyard is you got to complete all of these missions in a chain, and you're going to receive the Wisconsin, assuming you buy the last 2 phases. It's only 2 phases, 3,200 doubloons. So how are these missions looking? Well, nice to see here. We do get ourselves actually 2 months and a little bit to get this done. And the missions don't look too bad, to be honest with you. So we need to complete any 6 of these, including specifically these 2 to get these shipbuilding phases. 20 destroyed ribbons, not too bad. 1.2 million damage to ships, not too bad. And very important here is where we can complete these things. Asymmetric battle is back for this update, which I know a lot of you are looking forward to, myself included. Very fun, chill game mode I like to see. And you can complete these missions in asymmetric. So this is really looking like maybe the best dockyard they've ever released. Not only is it great value as far as the ships you're getting and the doubloons you have to spend to get those ships, which, to be fair, is some money and time. But if you're playing the game a lot, I think this is going to be a good dockyard to participate in. And especially because this asymmetric battle allows you to complete a lot of these missions. 800 ribbons, 1,000 ribbons, right? Just here in a Battleship, run a secondary Schlieffen into an asymmetric game mode, and not guaranteed, but you're probably going to get enough secondary hits to get that even in one game, right? So these missions aren't too bad. And there's a few here that are only available in randoms or ranked, but for the most part, you can complete them in anything, operations even as well. The Brawl that's for this update too, very nice to see. And notice that it's very specific when it's only one battle that you have to complete it. Everything else should be available over multiple battles, so it should be pretty chill here actually. And keep in mind, it's around, what, a week for each one? Yeah. So you have a week to complete 6 of these missions. So that's not too bad. I think it's going to be pretty decent. So let's look at the second one, 19,000 base XP. Maybe around 19-20 games or so on average. I don't know. But that's not too bad either, I don't think. 8 captured. Not bad. I think looking through these missions, 800 ribbons here, main battery or secondary hits, right? Like, just run that Schlieffen down in asymmetric, man. 5 million credits. It can take a little bit if you don't have premium or boosters, but I think you should still be able to get through that. 130,000 XP. That one might take a little bit longer, again, if you don't have the boosters or premium, but still not too bad, I don't think. Let's go to phase 4 here. And 120 torps. 15 million potential damage. That's probably around 15 games, depending on the ships you're playing. Maybe way less if you're playing a tanky battleship and you just send it into people. 250,000 HP spotting. That could take a while, depending on the teammates you have, certainly. But again, you do have a week for each one of these phases here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Each one is a week to get this done. So I don't think it's going to be too bad. You're going to have to let me know in the comments below, but I really wanted to point this out just because this was my one worry with this dockyard. And it doesn't look like they've made it too insane. Not even 10 million credits here. That's not too bad to earn, I don't think. But maybe I'm out of touch. You'll have to let me know. 20 Citadel hits here. 20 battles. Join the top 5 on your team by experience received. Might seem a little bit hard to do, but isn't asymmetric teams of 5? So basically play 20 asymmetric games, and even if your bottom score, you just complete it, right? That's not too bad. 4,500 ribbons, not too bad. It looks fine to me. This is good. This is really good. 180k by fire and flooding, so that's just 3 witherers worth across multiple games. Not too bad. 250,000 commander XP, again, boosters and premium time certainly are going to speed you up here. 50,000 free XP. That one could be a while. These two here. Okay, if you don't have premium time or boosters, those could take you a while. Certainly. So if you have a few boosters remaining, maybe save them until you have some of these missions unlocked. Maybe that would be my suggestion here. And the reason I'm focused on these ones is, again, you have to complete these ones specifically to gain these shipbuilding phases. And then it's 6 of the other ones, I believe, in any order. So you can pick and choose between the other ones, but make sure you do the ones that say they have a shipbuilding phase as a reward specifically. And the last one, we've got 20 destroyed ribbons, not too bad. 3,000 ribbons, again, not too bad because of asymmetric. 60,000 base XP, that could take you a little while. That one certainly could take you a little while, but I think that unlocks a week or two before the end. So you have a few weeks to complete this last one, I think, is maybe the reason this is a little bit more extreme. So it does ramp up, certainly, but not too bad. Not too bad. I really wanted to go over that specifically just because this dockyard could be something you're interested in, and you should know what the actual progress is you have to deal with when you're getting into it. 3,200 doubloons here if you buy it right away, and that's only available right at the start, these starter packs. If you already have the West Virginia 44, then you don't need to buy this, and you'll get the required phases when you get to the West Virginia 44 unlock. Full ahead, it's expensive, and it looks like if you don't buy it early, it's a little bit more money, 4,200, so 1,000 doubloons more. I would, depending on how you're feeling, depending on if money or time is more precious to you, I guess. I know some of you are students and don't have the most money around, then this would maybe be a deal if you have time to grind it. But if you're working a lot and you don't have a ton of time, maybe don't buy any of the phases early on and then wait and see if you actually end up getting close to completing the dockyard, because it's only 1,000 doubloons difference, I think, for those 2 shipbuilding phases. At least that's what it looks like. Although maybe the phases cost is different after the starter pack. I don't know. But that is the dockyard. Looks really, really good. Wisconsin being a decent tier 10 battleship, and West Virginia 44 being very, very fun at tier 7. Now we should go over the rest of this update real quick. Golden Week. Looks like we're going to have the opportunities to get some interesting camos. Certainly the lacquer ones for the Japanese ships always look very, very nice. So cool to see. The Battle Pass, I guess, is also on. Doesn't look that amazing, to be honest with you. But the Dockyard is also a Battle Pass. So that is certainly the better one to go for this time. Asymmetric coming back, and yes, your team is 5 people. So any of those missions requiring you to get the top 5 on your team, well, just play some Asymmetric, man. You're just guaranteed to get it. Looks like we're going to get 3 brawls again this update. The first one, 9v9 tier 10. No carriers or subs. Could be fun. Divisions up to 3. Don't see anything else yet, but that could be a fun first brawl. Now, by the looks of things, the Golden Week is actually mostly this Wishing Wharf event, which is going to be postponed apparently. But it's loot boxes, is what it is. This is just loot boxes, and this is where you're going to see some permanent camos for some ships, as well as the new Chikuma 2 and the Chikuma 2 Golden as a very, very rare reward. To be honest with you, though, I'm not terribly interested in these, as they are hybrid ships. So you're essentially getting an up-tiered tone here, complete with torpedo bombers as, where is it? Aircraft, here you go. Torp bombers here. But you do have an interesting gimmick, I guess, in that you have a smoke screen with a 6.8 kilometer smoke fire detection. So you should be able to play a little bit closer with this thing, maybe. But it is a hybrid, and I'm not particularly interested in those in this game. Don't really enjoy those all that much. Let me know if you want to see me try and play it. I won't show it off particularly well because I just don't try to practice these things at all. So I would be bad, but if you want to see it, I might make a video on it. Now, as for the drop rates here, it's pretty extreme. The Chikuma is part of a group that only has a 1.8% drop chance in these loot boxes. And it also includes some of the permanent camos for some of the other Japanese ships. So even if you do get the rare drop out of these loot boxes, you're not even guaranteed to get the Chikuma as the rare drop. if you're interested in it. And the guaranteed drop rate is after 90 attempts, 90 spins of the wheel. That's pretty extreme. And then the Chikuma 2 gold version is a 0.01% drop rate and guaranteed after 500 spins. Okay. I mean, what do I say to that, man? I don't like loot boxes, man. Like, sure, it's a free-to-play game. They're going to monetize it differently than a paid-for game. I get that, but really, are we just going to gamble on all this stuff? I don't know. Okay, it's fine. It's fine, because we seem to have a really good Dockyard here. So the downsides of this update is just insane gambling casino loot box for this golden version here of a ship that's probably not even that good. I haven't played it, but hybrid, not a fan personally. But at least we do have a pretty decent Dockyard. And honestly, that's almost it for this update. There's two just important things. One of them for me personally, third-party licensed music. I can disable it so I don't have to deal with copyright strikes. That was one of the reasons that I was a little worried about streaming on this main YouTube channel. That's why I've always kind of done the streams on the secondary channel, but maybe I'll have to try some live streams on my main channel now that I know I can disable the third-party licensed music. That way I don't get copyright strikes here on the main channel. But let me know if you're interested in that. Might try that out in the future. And also, Sicilia is getting a change to its rear turret firing angles. So let's go take a look at that. So that is a very, very extreme firing angle that allows us to stay very, very angled. That was one of the gimmicks of the Italian battleships. Colombo got it back with the release of Sicilia, and Sicilia has this extreme firing angle as well. It's around 22 degrees. Don't have my mods on right now because it's just the morning of the update, but we can see how sharp of an angle we can fire at here. Very, very nice. Now, the issue before also included not visually being able to shoot your guns, and a single click would not fire your guns, but a double click would, even though the game said I couldn't shoot my guns because they would be grayed out. The turrets would look like that. The turrets would look like that, but a double click would still fire them in the past. And, well, it won't shoot there because obviously it's too sharp of an angle. But here we go. 7.2. Is it changed so that we can shoot our guns at a 22-degree angle forward at close range? It looks like it is. Oh man, that is a massive buff for Sicilia, actually. One of the weird things about this ship was just that you had to play outside of 7 kilometers if you ever wanted to use your rear guns. It was something silly, like a 48 degrees, remembering correctly. I made a video on it. You had to show like this much broadside at close range to actually shoot your rear guns, something like that. Because I think it had to clear this turret here, this secondary. 6.4 kilometers away here, we can fire our guns. Hopefully we don't dev strike him. I kind of need him for this demonstration. Good, good, we didn't dev strike him. First time I'm saying that. And how close is it? Does it change? It's really near here. Just keep an eye out right there. That's the key. There it is. 6.2 now. Okay, so it's like a kilometer closer that we can't shoot our third turret. And then our fourth one disappears as well at 6. 6.2, 6 kilometers. We can't shoot our rear guns. Let's see, does a double click actually fire them? It does not. Okay, now we know. So 6.2 kilometers now is where you're gonna get your 22-degree firing angles forward. So that is about a kilometer better than it used to be. That's nice to see. Although it does mean you do want to stay outside of 6.2 when you're playing a Sicilia, because otherwise the amount of broadside we have to give to actually fire these guns. It's bad, man. It's so not good. There you go. Now we can fire them. Yeah, so it has to clear this one. Unfortunately, they didn't change it, so this turret can always fire. Right? To me, this one should always be able to shoot, because it's exactly like Colombo. It kind of makes sense to me, I guess, that this third turret won't be able to fire through this secondary mount. Fine. That's fine. Doesn't matter. But this one should be able to fire. Colombo is able to fire at every range even the very close ranges with all these back turrets at a 22-degree angle. And I don't think they've changed anything back here. So maybe if we are still going to be looking at Sicilia and looking at the turret angles, Wargaming, if you're watching this, maybe change it so this rear turret can fire at a 22-degree angle as well. I don't think that would make this ship too OP, especially because at closer ranges like that, I mean, most people aren't playing at those ranges anyway. And this ship really wants to play at closer ranges. And to have this massive penalty when you're playing up close, forcing you to go so broadside, it's so painful. Like even this broadside, I can't shoot my rear guns. Either one of them, right? To me, it seems like this one should be able to fire, right? And yet, double click, and we can't shoot our rear guns at all. Reloading guns, can't fire, can't fire, can't fire. Yet this one seems like it should be able to shoot. So that would be my one complaint yet, but hey. 1 kilometer buff to Sicilia's range, at least closer range firing angles, is nice. And the UI now makes more sense, as it actually shows you when you can and cannot fire your turrets, unlike before where it was anything below 11 kilometers, something like that, is where it said you couldn't fire, yet you still could with a double click. So that's about it for this update overview. I hope you guys enjoy 13.3. I'm very happy to see the Wisconsin Dockyard not have insane missions. Very, very happy. That was my one concern really about this Dockyard. I think this is a really, really solid direction for the Dockyard to go in, giving reasonably good rewards and not being an insane grind that really nobody can complete for the minimum cost of 3,200 doubloons with those 2 shipbuilding phases. Again, if you already have the West Virginia 44, you don't need to buy those early shipbuilding phases, as you're going to get credit for them once you actually receive your second West Virginia 44. You're not going to have another ship, you're just going to get those Dockyard phases for free, which is nice to see. Unfortunate that we're getting some insane gambling on the Chikuma 2. That is wild, but hey, at least the Dockyard is good, and very nice to see a little buff there to Sicilia, making it a little more easier to play and easier to understand when you can and cannot fire those rear guns. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.